Pirates of the Caribbean is a movie that had more success than people initially thought it would. People didn't expect it to have one, let alone the huge numbers of sequels it got. People didn't expect the mountain of merchandise to be sold by that movie. And people also didn't expect a theme park to have the Pirates of the Caribbean theme in it. And a lot of the success needs to be given to Johnny Depp. He is the person that has got a lot of people glued on the television and fascinated by this movie. It's impossible to talk about Pirates of the Caribbean without talking about Jack Sparrow. And Johnny Depp as an actor, it's very difficult to cast judgment on a person's character from the outside. But when I hear that a person puts on the costume of Jack Sparrow and goes to hospitals with children dying from cancer and tries to bring some joy in their final moments of life, maybe that can be a PR stunt, or maybe the guy is legitimately a kind-hearted person that has a lot of money and decides to do this in order to bring some joy into the world. Whether you like Johnny Depp or not, the guy is a brilliant actor. He has managed to single-handedly pull by himself a lot of movies and make them great. And it seems that now he's getting canceled. It seems that in the Pirates of the Caribbean, he's going to be killed off screen. It seems that in the new Harry Potter franchise, he's not going to start anymore. And this is not because of what the fans want. This is not because of what the consumer demands. This is simply because what the mainstream media and Hollywood culture demands. Because you see, when you go to one of these websites which didn't give the forums disabilities and allowed the forums to be open, you will see fans, men and women alike, being very upset about these decisions. And I have to say that I myself am not going to go watch the new Pirates of the Caribbean, and I'm not going to go watch the new Harry Potter. I'm not going to go watch the new Harry Potter because literally Johnny Depp was the only reason that I wanted to see the new movie. The previous episode, I find it to be quite boring and didn't have the same magic that the original series had. So it didn't really get me, but I was like, hey, well, it's Johnny Depp starring. I mean, I'm sure I can go watch it. As for Pirates of the Caribbean, I would have probably watched it even without Johnny Depp, but because they're doing this disservice to the actor that managed to pull the entire franchise, I'm going to stand out. I'm not going to give them my money. You know, if you think you're on the right side of history by doing this and by not hiring people based on merit, but hire people based on morality, I'm not going to watch. And any movie that hires Amber Heard, I'm not going to watch it, regardless of how good it is. At the end of the day, it's just a movie. I don't need it in my life. There's plenty of other entertainment that I can do. And I'm going to vote with my wallet. And if there are people out there on the internet shaming me for having the audacity to think that my boycott can be effective or whatnot, I don't care, man. I mean, at the end of the day, you're the one shackled by big corporations to be forced to consume whatever entertainment they put, and you're the one that has to like it. I personally don't like it. I mean, I don't like the decision, but honestly, I don't want to see Pirates of the Caribbean without Jack Sparrow, and certainly not when he is being taken out in such a shameful manner, being killed off screen. So a lot of people don't understand why this has happened, because a lot of people know about the scandal that took place. So they don't get how Johnny Depp managed to lose the lawsuit. And it's very simple to explain. What ended up happening was that a publication posted accusations on Johnny Depp for being abusive and beating up his wife. Now, Johnny Depp came up with recordings and with audio evidence showing that didn't happen. In fact, it showed that his wife was abusive. And there are recordings where his wife says, just take it like a man, Johnny. Who's going to believe you that a woman is beating you? No one is going to believe you. So it posts the wife in a very negative light. It posts the wife as if she is aware about this Hollywood culture, where people like her have all the power, and just with an accusation they can ruin someone else's life. And she's aware of that. Like she's conscientious that this is the case. Like maybe in a rural area, a woman doesn't have so much power, but in Hollywood, a person like her, an actress as famous as her, has tremendous amounts of power. And she used that power to project it and cause this damage that you get to see now being done to Johnny Depp, damage that is done outside of the legal courts, but by public opinion. And when I say public opinion, it's not even the public that has this opinion. It's the news articles, the journalists, and the people at Hollywood that have this opinion. So it's the corporate opinion, actually. It's not even public opinion, it's corporate opinion. So how did he lose the lawsuit? A lot of people wonder. It's like, well, he had the audio evidence. Every person that listened to the audio evidence was convinced that Johnny Depp was in the right. So how did it manage? Well, you need to understand, this wasn't a criminal lawsuit. He wasn't trying to prove that he is innocent and he hasn't done anything. No, this was a lawsuit done in the UK courts against the publication that slandered him. So he needs to prove that the publication slandered him. And in the UK courts, the burden of proof for slander and libel is a lot higher than it is in US courts. So, for example, if they have an audio where someone shit the bed, I'm pretty sure people heard that audio. But the judge can say, well, how do you know it's human feces? They could have been talking about the dog feces or something like that. If he has an audio where it says, who's going to believe you, Johnny? Like, no one is going to believe that you beat me. The judge can say, well, maybe that was a hypothetical conversation that they were having. So it's a difficult burden of proof to prove libel and slander in the UK courts. Now, you need to understand that if you make the claim that I punched you, and it's up to me in order to prove that I didn't, if I don't manage to prove that I did not punch you, that doesn't mean that I did. It just means that I can't prove I didn't, which is exactly what's happening here. Johnny Depp couldn't prove that the accusations of Amber Heard are illegitimate. So what happens is that it's a return to the previous state. Amber Heard made some accusations without any proof, without any evidence. But the accusations are enough to ruin his career. And because he couldn't disprove the accusations that she made, his career is now ruined. It's very difficult for a fan of Johnny Depp to understand that he's not going to star in probably any more movies now. Johnny Depp was an actor that made my childhood great. I have absolutely no doubt in my mind that if Johnny would be casted in another movie, he would put butts in seats and he would sell a lot of tickets. But corporate lives in a completely different reality than the rest of us. Corporate culture doesn't care about what people think. They don't care about the customer. All they care about is what the journalists have to say and what the risk assessment team has to say. So they're living in a bubble. Like, they are legitimately going to take financial loss because they do not want to cast Johnny Depp for just accusations, I suppose. And, you know, like, to me, it's a little bit difficult because, like, I really like the guy. I really like watching his movies. I really like consuming the entertainment that he puts out. And I understand that, well, not going to see him on the big screen anymore. Still, Johnny Depp managed to make a name for himself doing independent films. And maybe we're going to see some of that. To me, the thing that pisses me off is that, yet again, I notice that I, as a consumer, and the rest of the consumers are just constantly ignored by big corporations. They think they know what's better. And they're the ones that are going to decide what we want to see and what we don't want to see. It's just like a couple of fringe, marginalized voices that speak on behalf of the people. And this is the entertainment industry. It doesn't make that much of a difference. But this happens almost in every other walks of life. It's a couple of elites that think they know better, deciding for the rest of the plebs. I guarantee to you, if they were to put out a poll or a survey in order to ask whether or not Johnny Depp should be casted in the new Pirates of the Caribbean movies, overwhelmingly people would say yes. And people would want to see it, they would pay money. In fact, I would pay double the price of ticket just to support Johnny Depp and show that I care about him. And I'm not even a fanboy, you know. I mean, to me, this actor has a lot of nostalgia. There are a couple of events in my life that I consider precious, and they happened while I was watching some of his movies. And there was a friend of mine that was also very passionate about this guy, and we talked a lot. And, you know, it's got like some nostalgia. It gives me a little bit of a throwback when I'm thinking about it. So that's why I care probably a little more than I should. But also YouTube is demonetizing all of the videos where people talk about Johnny Depp. And I find it very bizarre. Again, like the things you're allowed to talk on this platform are becoming shorter and shorter by the day. So now you can't talk about sex scandals, you know, like the bread and butter of most tabloids, the bread and butter of what every single teenage girl and teenage guy likes to read about is considered not safe for advertisement. I'm not going to do what the quartering does and just like try to modify the title and, you know, like instead of saying me too, I will say also me, or, you know, like all these things that YouTubers do in order to bypass the algorithm. No, like just get this video demonetized if that's the case. If you're not allowed to talk about this subject, I will talk from the heart. I will just say what I want to say. And I'll take the L. I'll take the demonetization if this is what's required. I don't think I said anything that's not advertiser friendly. But again, you know, it's all about the corporate mentality that is completely different to what people on the ground have to say. There now seems to be two parallel universes. There is the universe of what the press is writing and what you see corporate saying, and then there's the universe of what happens when you go on an internet forum with average people just talking. And they're like, oh, I don't hate Johnny Depp. It's like, yeah, I want to see the movie. It's completely two different realities. Let me know what you think. I'll see you guys in the comment section.